Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me, it's the King of Iron Fist. It's Ben.
Don't fucking call me that. I had to tap out of Tekken 8, man. Don't do that to me. It was in the tournament too. I got my ass kicked. Like that's
I kind of I don't know how.
Dude, I don't like. I
understand.
just was like, it was like the opposite of seeing the code. I was just losing, and I switched to pad, and I still lost. I mean, I lost a couple of times in Tekken 7. I lost a couple of times in 8, but then I lost like 4 in a row. And I'm like, this is not even like I wasn't getting mad because I like whatever. But I'm like, this is gonna take fucking forever. I'm not even at like the hard fights or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing of like playing the game so we can talk about it rather than playing it so you can have fun.
Yeah, and
Because like I mean I lose plenty of matches playing in the arcade mode. I just like the pushing through is part of the fun.
yeah, yeah, and I mean I felt more of an urge to push through with like 7 because I haven't done like I've done all the character episodes in 8. I've done the little what would you call it? What's the name of the mode where you're like your little avatar, like the arcade, the meta story or whatever. I've done that thing, and you know I played a chunk of online or whatever. Like I've sunk some. I've just lost like anything I knew. Clearly,
Yeah, it's just been a while.
yeah, and I didn't sink enough time into it to like lock that shit in.
Look,
I'll get there. We need
the
to.
keys to exploiting the AI in single player are using your heat abilities.
Yeah,
Because, like, the AI will just press a button.
yeah.
Like,
It's like that's what
Your ult is, like, guaranteed as long as
dude.
they don't, like, miss.
Yeah. But you know, I'd played enough of it. Like I had a feel for stuff.
Yeah.
And then I watched.
I'll just say I played on hard.
Well, oh, Mr. Gamer,
I didn't remember I played on hard, but I turned it on. I was like, it's on hard. Oh,
dude.
I guess I'll keep it on hard.
I was playing on hard when I started.
Sure.
Like, I got my ass kicked immediately. I'm like, I was playing on hard, I think, and I looked, and sure enough. So I used to be good. I used to be like good enough to.
Now you're just washed.
I'm decimated.
You played PlayStation Tekken, and now your mind's broken, and you don't know how to play it anymore.
It's true. I mean, and this is the thing. Honest to God, I just need to beat my skull against more like 3D fighters, because at this point I would say a pretty chonky experience with 2D fighters, and prior to Duck Station rollback, like not a lot of 3D experience outside of Soul Calibur. So like when me and you are playing stuff and we turn on a 2D game, I feel like I'm at least like I'm in it. 3D, I'm still like even if I end up like rinsing your ass in whatever jank game for however many rounds, I come into it feeling like scared because you just have so much more experience than me over in that. So it's just a matter of time before I'd start claiming victories there as well.
Hell yeah.
But we're also here to talk about the story as much as the games of Tekken at large, which I have taken in. I watched all 140 or whatever those videos.
Hell yeah. My curated list of
God.
Tekken endings and whatnot to show Ben so that he would be up to date enough for this podcast.
It's man,
it's stuff.
You know what my takeaway
very
is?
silly.
You know what my takeaway is for like the character endings are, of course, like they're just fun, right? They sometimes give like a vibe, like Yoshimitsu's is like kind of they're telling you about the character, but then like once you get into the later games, they're like, What if Kazuya had like 6 million pairs of sneakers, right? Like in Tekken 8, like that ending. And that's great. I love seeing the fun shit. But for all of the story stuff, my realization, even getting through Tekken 8 was maybe a bit of an exception, but I was like, it really is just whatever you fucking grow up with, I think, or what you're experiencing as a kid. Because I'm like, this is like, people like this? This isn't nearly as good as the Soul Calibur story. What do you mean it's people get sword? It's so refined compared to this. And it's like no more refined at all. It's also just dog shit. This is just what if Mishima Zaibatsu was a sword? That's what could a corporation be a sword? And I think the answer is like kind of yeah.
Well, it's a fist.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah.
Look, a fist can be a sword.
Sure.
And a lot of people getting thrown off cliffs. A lot of cliff throwing.
It's true. It happens quite a bit. Quite a bit. I mean, there's like limits. Like I didn't show. Like I think Tekken 8-6's story mode is dog shit. Like actually, even as a Super Tekken fan. So there are limits.
Oh, dude, some of them were much better than others. And I mean, like as you go on, like it gets I'm trying to think at like what point, because I watched the older stuff a lot longer ago than I've done the newer stuff. I'm trying to remember at what point. It was pretty early on. They like flipped the devil stuff, right? Because early on, the devil gene wasn't a gene. It was like there was a deal made with the devil or whatever, right? Something along those lines. I think.
Kazuya turns into a devil at the end of the video game. That's what I remember.
Sure. Because how I was going through those videos on YouTube is I'd watch all the story stuff, and then I would go back and I would like read on the wikis and everything.
Yeah.
Just because it's not clear.
Yeah, like I only knew any story stuff about Tekken 3 really at the time. Like I played the game, but I got the story from the strategy guide that had little one paragraph bios on all the characters. So that's like how I viewed the story. Like I think of it as similar to like the way I took Magic the Gathering story of like there's story here and I'm like seeing it. It's like shadow. I'm like watching the shadows on the wall version of it. Like, and I kind of think like at the core of it, I don't actually think the story's that good, but the way it gets conveyed through that medium of these character endings, I think is cool. is a bigger thing. Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. I think, I mean, having played the only two that I've actually played were 7 and 8 for story. Because you gave me 1 through 6 in the YouTube playlist, and then because I had
only really, and only like 6, 7, and 8 really have story modes.
Yeah.
So I just skip 6's because 6's story mode is like based on like Tekken Force style fights, the like open area brawler stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Playing as Lars. And it's just, I just think it's bad and boring. I just think it's really boring for the most part. Like, I haven't played through it because I got bored.
I'll say...
And I think there's something like that for 5, but it was like only in the PSP version or something. And maybe the later PS3 version. It wasn't like in the... There was like where you're playing as Devil Jin or something. It wasn't in like PS2 Tekken 5.
Gotcha. I mean,
Dark Resurrection.
I thought like 7 story. So I don't like. It's not that I have a ton of experience with story modes, right? I think I can actually list them on one hand. The story mode stuff I've done. in a game. Street Fighter 6, Soul Calibur 6, Tekken 8, Tekken 7 for fighting games. Obviously.
Did you do? I mean, how much of you didn't really play Tekken 6's story mode
No, Tekken. Did I say 6?
or Street Fighter 6?
Street Fighter 6. I did World Tour. Is that not the story mode?
Did you?
I didn't do much of it, but like I'm just listing
Yeah.
the ones that I've even played at all.
Oh yeah, sure, that you've touched.
Yeah,
Because I thought it was like ran like shit for you.
it does run like shit for me. And it also didn't hook me immediately.
Yeah. Also, it's
like-
boring.
Yeah. And like I don't expect a ton. I'll say in just for Tekken, I thought the story in 7 was mid, but I really didn't like the framing device.
The framing device is awful.
It's-
That's the part.
yeah,
that's like
it's- I'm like,
ruins
who is
the narrator is terrible.
Yeah, that was awful. It was just so.
No, that's why I
fucking
like. I can't recommend. I really like the like some of the stuff with Heihachi and Kazumi, and then his fight with Kazuya at the end. But the framing device in that mode sucks shit.
See,
So it's not really a thing I would recommend, except you need to have seen it to do 8, I think.
yeah, my and 8 was so much better. Both the stuff that the story is doing, and also I really liked how it played. Like the fights. I mean, for better or worse, like the thing I compare it to is Soul Calibur 6. Like for better or worse, that game is like get your bit of story, do a fight. Get a bit of story, do a fight, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And at least in 8, they do an okay job of like kind of weaving it into the fights a little bit, right? And I like
You get
that.
like that. You get that little tournament where you get to pick who you want to fight as.
Yeah.
That shit's cool. You get your the thing that I like that it does is like you get your spectacle moments that are like pushing beyond just the normal like competitive fighting game engine
Yeah.
and movesets. Like to me still the best fighting game single player is Naruto Ninja Storm 4 or whatever. Because it like goes beyond the scale of what the normal game does for just dumb spectacle stuff. Like your fighting is like big kaiju fights that are just not in the normal like fighting game part, right?
Yeah.
So that's shit that like I like about. I think fighting game stories should do that stuff, and like if they have budget to like push further and outside the like the fact that you fight Azazel in the Tekken 8 story mode is sick, even though he's not a playable character in Tekken 8.
Yeah, dude.
The final boss of 6.
And see, I had spoiled myself a little. Well, not spoiled. I don't really consider it spoilers, I suppose, because like I didn't at the time. I didn't even know what I didn't know, so it's like, yeah, fucking whatever, hit me. But he did come up in some of the character episodes. You fight Azazel as well.
Yeah. That shit's cool.
It is very cool looking, and like the shit with Reina, like the arena and stuff, like that's great.
Reina's like just gonna fight fucking Devil Jin. I'm like, fucking hell yeah. This is sick.
My thing, and I think this is extra funny because like Tekken is considered like the longest running story in a video game, right?
Sure.
That's what
They paid Guinness. They paid Guinness to say that.
Yeah, whatever. But like, and there's like something that's no reboots or rewrites or like retcons or any of that shit. I'm like, what are you fucking
Every
talking
game,
about? No
the main
retcon?
the mainline stories have been sequential, like one to the next.
That's great.
Whereas like
It doesn't deserve it. You got people dying. If your first like 8 games, well, that might be right if you count like the. other spin-offs or something. If your first however many games are just the story is someone gets thrown off a cliff, they lived. Like you don't get that. You don't get the no retcon bullshit.
Well, the character endings are non-canonical.
Get out of here.
They
That
are
is not a story.
You only find out what the story of the last game was when the new game came out. It's like that's like you play the new game and you figure out who won the previous Tekken.
So
what story was canon?
And that's fine. That's what
I mean until like 6.
Tekken 8 made me think that like I like the stuff you're doing. I like this shit. The devil stuff is kind of is cool. The finding your power within and like accepting it as part of your like that's cool. There's a lot of cool shit, and it's being and the alliances and everything. Like there's a lot of really cool moments. I wish it wasn't attached to all this other bullshit that I find incredibly lame. I wish they had like found a way to I don't want them to reboot it and then like fuck it up, but like I wish this was attached to better things before that had been building to this in a better way, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's super cobbled together.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like really defend it in that way. I just think it's fucking,
I would hope not. Look, there's cool
parts
shit
that are cool.
Yeah, there's cool shit. The Tekken 7, the final fight, that the lava stage, like that's just fucking neat. That's good
and like
shit.
You can tell how much they care about it because like for Tekken 7 and Tekken 8, they started the marketing with the final fight of the story mode, both of them.
Hell yeah.
Like there's no mystery about where this is going kind of stuff. Like 7 starts with Kazuya and Heihachi fighting in the volcano, and 8 started by showing you Jin and Kazuya on the fucking rock next to the water going crazy.
Oh my god, when they're fighting in space though.
I mean, yeah, when they're on Super Saiyan.
That's absolutely fucking prime.
That's like, yeah, that shit's fucking amazing. It's so funny.
I like the shit that they were doing. Like it's nothing new. It's like tropey, right? But like,
yeah,
Jin getting the shit about like protecting, like he wants the strength to protect people. Like it's just fucking good. It just gets me, man. It's just very good.
Yeah, that shit's good. When they're doing like they don't know how to write fucking women at all, but
they know how to write as a Senna.
Do like normal. Yeah, but she's just a joke. They don't know like how to really do character interactions in like a good way.
Oh,
like normal,
all the
people
shit is. I don't
like
even
really
know. They're
stilted.
not people.
Yeah. Like it's not good, but whatever. The important part, like the stuff with Jin at the end are just fucking great. So like I forgive it. And particularly what they do with Jin in the final fight of this, like after this, they do the Super Saiyan thing, and then they do the thing of him like going through all the fighting styles that he's had throughout the series. And like, and they have him do the Tekken 3 pose, and his Tekken 3's theme starts playing, and now you're playing as Tekken 3 Jin. That's like one of my favorite fucking moments in any video game.
Yeah,
and it's like totally built on nostalgia for that stuff too. But it's like executed mechanically, and like the things I was doing, it's just like I was out of this world happy about that part specifically.
Yeah, that
makes
sense.
Shit for me. And that's the thing, like you can't without that, you kind of don't get there with that moment. Like it's easy to miss if you don't have that built-in nostalgia for why that shit's so fucking cool.
It's for me. It's like, yeah, that's a cool thing they did. That's neat.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it can't hit like that, right?
No.
It'd be weird if it did for me.
Mm-hmm.
It brings me back to getting my shit rocked by Hank not a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, what they do with Jin's character, this feels like fixing the bad stuff they did with his character. Where like in 4, whereas like in 3, Jin is like first shows up in Tekken 3 and he's just cool. He's the face of the game. If you like, I started with 3, so Jin, that's the Tekken guy, to me. And then in 4, they like completely changed his character, like the way his character plays for story reasons, where he rejects the Mishima stuff, and then he's just like his move set is more karate based, and he's just not as fun, which is a bummer. And like I don't. And Tekken 4 kind of sucks also for various reasons. Like they introduced like walls and just like you would fight in like a parking lot with like pillars and stuff, and it's just like shit was in the way. There were like some of these stages were just fucking tiny, and some of them were like big and just weird, and like they would have like slopes. And just like the character roster in 4 is very small.
I think I do remember seeing something about that, about the sloped thing, because everyone was hating on it.
Yeah, I think Virtua Fighter did it first, and then Tekken copied it. It's just their want. But yeah, so 4 was not pop. Like Tekken 3 was Tekken 4 wasn't popular, and then Tekken 5 they basically fixed it, and it has a huge character roster, and it's good. And Tekken 5 is like the first time I care about Tekken story, really, because I really like that opening cutscene of like Heihachi and Kazuya like waking up after Jin's like flown away, and then all the jacks are like piling in and fighting them.
It's really good.
Like, that's just cool.
Yeah, man.
So like, that's the thing to me that I'm chasing when I'm like following Tekken story, is like moments like that, and like the ends of 7 and 8 deliver on that, and like nothing in 6 delivers on that. But yeah,
we also did the DLC stuff for Tekken 8.
Yeah.
What'd you think? How do you feel about Heihachi? Like, what do you want to see from that guy?
Well, so the thing that I find funny is like it's such a redo of Tekken 5, because Tekken 5 opens with Heihachi Mishima is dead, and then as you play, and he's like not one of the starting characters, but it's as you like play through that game, eventually you unlock Heihachi and like get his story of how he survived, where he just got like thrown clear.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So it was just in that game. So that's really all they've done here. It's just like because of DLC cadence release, they could space it out more. And it's like really this DLC is like a teaser for Tekken 9 is going to be more realistically or whatever. Or if they do more story DLC for 8 at some point, which I don't really expect.
That'd be cool
because it's more like Tekken is this ongoing thing. So, and they know it now, so it's that thing of like where they're holding story because they know what they want to do something for next time or whatever. It's just not great. Like, I don't like the not leaving it all on the table kind of thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
I just think Heihachi's funny, and I think it's funny that when he's good, his hair is just long and down, and then as soon as he turns evil, it stands straight back up.
Yeah.
I like that he
shit.
fucking stops a fucking giant meteor. That's hype. And then he has to stop it and then headbutt it, and then that's to just fully stop it, and that's what gives him his memory back. That's hilarious. And I just like his evil laugh. It's fun. That's really all there is to it. How I feel about Heihachi. It's just like, yeah, he's a bastard. It's funny.
See, with like not having any attachment, like it'd be kind of cool if he was good, like if he just kept on this path. But also, like Jin's good, so I guess he needs to be the bad also.
Yeah, and the thing they fucked up with 6 is they tried to make Jin bad, and like it just wasn't fun.
Yeah,
Like it just made Jin more boring. Making him the heroic one makes him more interesting. If he's just also evil, it doesn't really work as well. IMO. Yeah, and like like again, like they killed Kazuya. Kazuya was not in 3, and then they brought him back to life for 4. Like characters like dying and coming back is like I expect it out of Tekken.
Oh, I don't know how
this
you
is the
couldn't.
soap opera that they have built.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know why you. I can't imagine someone still being like, I can't believe they really killed him this time. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
Now he has a big fist on his chest imprint.
Hell
where
yeah.
Kazuya punched him. That's cool.
The end of Tekken 7 where they're both just like tired as shit. Like when they're just wailing. I love that shit so much. They're just both
again,
tired,
I've said before, like my favorite kind of fight is where the two competitors just keep going until they're fucking exhausted. So
hell yeah.
I was extremely into it. That was my shit.
Yeah, man.
That's what I like. And I like playing Tekken. It was fun to play through that stuff.
I like it in theory. need to get my legs back.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell was happening, man. I mean, I understand losing to you. That one made sense, even though I was still like losing my mind. I just need a staff. I need a staff to to really be functional in a 3D space.
You need a safety blanket.
Yeah. I need to be able to poke you from full screen. Be like, back. 10-foot pole, get out of here.
I wonder if there might be a 10-foot pole in the like equipable weapons thing, because Tekken has like equipable items that are usable for like one terrible move.
Hell
like you
yeah.
can give people a gun. You can just shoot a gun.
I do
in
remember
the
seeing the gun stuff, yeah.
And like it's not good, but it's funny.
I mean,
so,
there was
honestly it's ideal.
There was people who put I think it was Tekken 8 like online, because you can equip an item, right? And you can like adjust the size. And someone just made their character a giant cube.
Hell
And people
yeah.
and they went into ranked with it, and people were bitching. I'm like, nah, this is peak. If you can't handle the cube, like maybe hop off. Like that's just how this works.
Yeah. And like Tekken 8's just had the. I still wish it were quicker, because like Tekken 3, one of its magic tricks is that it's like extremely good looking for a PS3 game, or PS1 game rather. But also it loads super fast.
Yeah.
And Tekken 8's just everything's a little slow. But it is easily the best online experience of like the Tekken games.
Well, in theory. 8 you mean is one of the best experiences?
Yeah. In terms of official support, like obviously Arc with the PS1 games now having a rollback is just better. But
I just can't believe
like Tag 2 was the worst of it, because they fucked up the game to try and make the online better, where the game just has input delay as a baseline.
Great.
So that they could handle. So the online would be more consistent with how the game played offline. This is not a great choice.
I mean, my big thing for 8 was still the fact that we were in a match and it was playing perfectly fine, and then it just died. Like, no slowdown,
Yeah.
no leg, no nothing, just kicks you out. And I'm like, how do you get to that state?
Man.
Wild. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, whatever.
Yeah. There's some of the endings are just very funny. Like, I fucking love Mokujin's ending in Tekken 6, the like storybook thing.
Oh, yeah, man.
That one was sick.
I still like. I mean, the one that lives in my head rent free is the. Is it Yoshimitsu's ending from like 1 or 2 or something? Maybe 3, but I think it's 1 or 2. Where you get that great shot of like the low poly, like
Yeah.
pog face expression when he's throwing all the money to people. It's so good.
That's just good.
I'm trying to think like whose endings stuck out. I mean, the Kazuya from Tekken 8 is just so good. A lot of Paul's I liked. I just like Paul. Paul is sick. Strongest in the universe is too good.
Hell yeah. His mortal enemy is a bear that just wants to beat him up.
Nah, dude, I saw it with my own eyes. That bear saved him. It was right there, clear as day. Funniest thing. Man, I was nervous in Tekken 8 for a second because like Azucena went to G Corp. And I was like, no, my coffee queen. But then like she's just doing it for the publicity, like the brand recognition, like so whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. I'll say gotta keep everyone likable.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like they either need to stay likable or they need to be like so bad that they circle back to being like
Yeah.
the bad guy.
When you're just so maniacally evil that you're just like, yeah. Hey Hachi, he's fine.
Yeah.
Kazuya, that guy.
You know what? I didn't mention it. The Akuma shit in Tekken 7
Yeah.
was cool as hell.
Hell yeah.
That
was like the selling point of Tekken 7 when it came to consoles.
dude,
For sure.
he showed up and I was like, I forgot you were in here. What the fuck are they gonna do with you? And it turned out to be great. Like it was
the way he's just
fun as hell.
Like woven into the story is sick. He's just here, just a Kuba.
Mm-hmm. And that you get to like win as him. Also, his secret chapter is like the worst thing.
Sure.
Even on easy mode, it's just, I don't even know that maybe it just doesn't recognize any mode settings at all because like it's still just the classic hard input reading like nonsense. If there's a point when he's close enough to you, if you try to hit him, he just teleports back and forth, and he will do that. He will do that until you stop, and then he beats your ass. Like it's actually insane.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ever did that.
I highly recommend giving it a shot just to see how stupid it is. But like people online were like, "Yeah, I finally got it after like 4 hours." I'm like, I'm not sitting here. There's
Hell
no
yeah.
way. I ain't got that. I was getting my ass kicked on easy mode in the campaign sometimes. I can't do this.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it was a very fun thing to go through. Like it was cool getting to see all of that. At some point, I would like to do that with other games. I don't know which. I don't know when. I don't know what context. But I do kind of want to see the monstrosity that is the Soul Calibur story at some point.
Sure.
Mostly because
I think the series that has the most built out story modes is Mortal Kombat.
I don't want to.
modern
I don't want
ones.
to deal with that shit.
I'm aware.
At least, at least Tekken, like, the story isn't great or whatever, but at least like the gameplay is there. At least in Street Fighter 6 or any Street Fighter, like the gameplay is there. What if you had?
I mean, if you're just gonna watch it though.
Ugh. Ugh. That feels like. I mean, I could, but then I'd feel compelled to play at least a bit. Because like, if I'm not playing, why would I care at all? You know. I guess I should rephrase. I'm interested in like the story stuff that I do play.
Yeah. I mean, just a lot of it just is it's what's in the game is like barely stuff.
Yeah, but still, mostly like doing like more arcade modes and stuff for a lot of games and like getting the back stuff where relevant.
I think the anime fighters might have like more like visual novel style story modes or whatever.
Yeah, there's a chunk.
I think the
do.
Blaze Blue or the modern Guilty Gears have that stuff. I just kind of cared.
Guilty Gears is like literally just an anime, as far as I know.
Oh,
like
okay.
That was actually one of the most infuriating things when I was trying to ask about that in some of my final days on Reddit. I was like, which, and it's, you know what, it also happened a couple of times on Discord, but I was like, what order to play the Guilty Gear games in for story and all that shit. And nobody actually, not a single person answered my question. Every single person was like, just go watch them on YouTube. I'm like, okay, I understand I can do that, but like, that's not what I asked. I've purchased the games. I want to play them. I don't care to do it on you. And nobody would answer. But yeah, it's all apparently just like anime cutscene stuff, which is cool. That's great. But and I think it's like, I guess I haven't seen enough people talk about it. I don't know if it's like good or bad or trash or silly or what.
Yeah. But that's like when like it's just like visual novel on top of, or cutscenes on top of like normal fights is like what a lot of is like the good case for a lot of them, or it's just like non-ending, like character endings that are like not even a cutscene, they're like a still image or something.
Yeah.
It's just
Like Street Fighter 6.
The thing. Yeah.
Not for the main story, but
yeah. That's just most of them. And like the big exception is Mortal Kombat, starting with 9 or whatever. Because 9 is like alternate timeline, time travel, retelling of 1 through 3.
hell yeah.
And then new stuff, that's why Tekken gets to make that claim, because Mortal Kombat like rebooted its universe twice now. And they haven't done that.
And you know,
it's like how you could say the Marvel universe was one continuous story, but DC was rebooted. So
yeah.
It like doesn't really matter.
I think the funniest reboot is Street Fighter 6. Maybe not the funniest that I know of offhand, because like
I don't consider that a reboot.
Or not. I said Street Fighter because I'm an idiot. I meant Soul Calibur.
Okay.
My bad.
Oh, okay.
Not obviously when I said Street Fighter 6, I meant Soul Calibur 6. Come on.
Oh.
You know that about me.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But
what Soul Calibur did.
they just completely rebooted the story, like starting fresh because they got into silly shit. But then they like kind of introduced like the original storyline that went through 5 as like an alternate universe thing that that like intersects a bit with 6. So I'm like, now I feel the urge to go look at those games and like see the story stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go do it. Tell me if you care at all, because I just remember doing story stuff in like Soul Calibur 2 and 3 at the time and going like, this is like nothing. There's just nothing here.
You know I'm gonna care. You know I'm gonna care, and you know why I'm gonna care. We don't need to beat around this
Because there's a sword?
gilded bush, whatever. There's a sword. There's weapons. Yeah. I mean, it's all it's the sword. Like, that is what drew me in as a kid. We can trace this shit back, but like, you know, what came first? Me liking swords and liking Soul Calibur? Well, no, because Star Wars came before that. But what, you know, anyway.
That's why Soul Calibur 4 is the best one, because it has Yoda and Darth Vader.
That was very fun. I did have a very good time with that, because I was still like, shit, when did that come out? 2009? 8? 9? I mean,
I don't remember.
Cheers. Soul Calibur 4. 2008. I probably picked that up in 2010. Maybe 2011. Probably, yeah, 2010 or 11, I would have picked that up. So, like, I was 15 or 16? 11, 16, 17. I had a good time with it. You know, it was fun. At that point, like, I wasn't playing as much, like, with my brother anymore, like, when we were little.
Yeah.
Because, you know, by that point, our tastes had diverged a bit and all that shit. But, you know, still, actually, the funniest thing to come out of that is for like a decade after the fact, I would, for some reason, misremember Talim's outfit in 4 as being the outfit from 2. And I don't,
weird.
Like, I just, of all the random things, I just like had that version of her in my head. And then when I went back to check out like 2 on Dolphin, I was like, what the hell? Worldview absolutely shattered. It wasn't. It was just another drop in the giant bucket of things that I had imagined in my past. Goku running down a sidewalk. That definitely was not Snake Way. It wasn't that. Couldn't have been. I would never misremember that after seeing it at a glance on TV twice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it can't say like just what you, I don't know, because I played old other fighting games back in the day too, and Tekken was always the one in terms of like character endings.
Yeah.
That I cared about way more. Nothing else like hit the way that did.
Yeah,
in terms
man.
of how they executed stuff.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I super cared about the Marvel superheroes fighting game, but like those doesn't really have, the character endings are nothing. It's all about playing the game in those cases.
Yeah.
The power of cutscene, the power of Gon riding a bird and then trying to fly and falling off or whatever, or Mokujin's wife getting mad at him because he's playing video games.
Hell yeah. It's the power of Kuma getting dunked on just constantly in a variety of situations.
Yeah. True. And Street Fighter and Soul Calibur just never had it for me.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I
Fun
can't say
games,
that. I guess I can't say that Street Fighter never had it, because like, I mean, shit. I can't even really say that Soul Calibur had that, because honestly, in the day, I never really did Soul. I rarely did the single player shit because I was always playing with my brother.
Yeah. Like Weapon Master mode was fun as hell, but that had no story to it. That was like,
Yeah,
like it would like give you a fight with special rule sets or something.
that
And
was
that shit
actually
was fun, but it had no story content.
Yeah, no, that was like a huge. That was like a huge thing actually when I was.
Or it had like some
younger.
text to read, maybe that I'd never read.
Yeah,
That's
sounds,
also possible.
That sounds right.
Reading, that's no.
Don't play Soul Calibur 6. Or no, I mean you could, because they also there is audio, there is speaking.
Uh-huh.
But I think they're
Are there hype moments? Is there any hype?
I need to continue it because I got like I'm like probably halfway through everybody's thing. There's a couple of character stories I finished. I haven't finished any of the hype ones. But I've finished the ones that I have finished. I thought like they were like the more simple ones. Like they were the ones that weren't like revolving directly around the sword and like the soul, the fragments. So they're not like hype. They're just like, what if you did like a kind of nice story that was just sort of normal slice of life shit, kind of
Boring.
I mean, I'll let you know if there's hype. I don't expect there to be much hype. I guess if there is, I'd be very happy, but also a bit surprised, just because it's of the format, because they had like no budget or whatever.
Yeah.
But the writing is good, at least. Like I think the writing is pretty solid.
Doubt.
I mean, solid for what it is. On
Yeah.
the other hand,
Boring.
I've been reading 17,776 and 2020. So
That's good writing.
like, you know,
That's good writing.
there is better writing out there, as it turns out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't say the writing in Tekken is good at all.
I'm still waiting to find one that is.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's the
out
thing.
there.
Like Tekken is not. I don't think is like an insurmountable bar to cross. I just think it kind of is. Of all these fighting game series, I think it has the best stuff. The most hype and
The
story
tone-
stuff. So I care the most.
the tone
and like,
is
you know,
very good.
It's all partially based. I thought Tekken 3 was like the coolest shit in the world when I was like 10 or whatever. When did that game come out? Yeah, like 11.
Okay. I would have been. Let's see. Well, not for Tekken, but I'm just thinking of like when Soul Calibur 2 with 2002. Yeah, I would have been like 8 when that came out. Maybe 9 when I played it. In the ballpark.
Yeah.
And Tekken 3 you saw that was the review, right? That you
Yes,
read? Because you sent
read.
me that.
Yeah, I sent you
That was very-
that 5-star review, perfect
Yeah.
score for Tekken 3. That sold me on Tekken 3 and getting a PlayStation, or begging my parents to get me a PlayStation for my birthday, and that is what happened. And then I played it, and I fucking loved it.
Hell yeah. Do you have any guesses as to how I got into Soul Calibur, knowing that I lived in the middle of nowhere, had no access to real television channels, and had shit internet that I didn't really
No
know how to
idea.
use? I went to
Because it had Link.
Yeah. I went to the rental store, and there was a Link on the cover. I'm like, what the hell? I thought I had played all the Zelda games.
Hell yeah.
And I missed one, and I got it, and it wasn't a Zelda game at all. And I watched the theme, the intro, right, like the cutscene intro to the game itself, just when you turn it on, and it was like the coolest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Hell yeah.
I was in. Also, it just looked good. Like that game was kind of my standard for a while. Like that was one of the best looking games on GameCube, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I played it on Xbox. It was certainly. I think it probably looked if not even better, if at least as good.
Yeah,
because Xbox is technically more powerful.
Speaking of how things look, I'm glad we got to this because it sparked my memory. Holy shit, the whiplash from going from like the old Tekken games to these ones, just in the character models. You were like, everybody is so skinny, dude. They're all lean back in the day, and they beefed.
Yeah,
did beef. Chunky.
That's just true.
Heihachi is giant. he's huge. It's so funny. It's just so funny to look at. Like in the old one, he's like just scrawny. He's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is very funny how fucking jacked everyone is now.
Dude, they're shredded. They're huge. This is great though. No, that game, like Tekken aesthetic and Tekken like I said, the tone for the story and stuff is like, it's just very good because it's like there's like the serious moments, right? But then like it's all just kind of silly at the same time, and I feel like it rides that line well because other shit tries to be serious and it just like sucks.
Yeah, and that's like what works for me. Like part of Soul Calibur, I don't think does enough silly.
It does like zero silly.
Yeah, there's no. It's all like that, you know, pretentious tone of the intro or whatever, which is like,
how dare you?
I couldn't think of a better word to describe it, but like highfalutin or whatever. Like this is an epic tale. Like, we are narrating to you, and it just never finds another mode beyond that. It's just that.
Yeah,
always.
No, I get it. I get it. I should play some. I should play some Soul Calibur. That's what I'm hearing.
Hell yeah.
And it's also just fun to be. I don't know, to be in the know. To like watch that.
Yeah.
Shit. And it came at a good time, like finishing this and getting to talk about it, because like having played the older stuff with you a bit, that's been super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you were on worse internet. That was really cool. That was great.
Well, the internet was fine. It's that I was tunneling into my computer from a remote location and then playing you.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I mean, like look, I don't want you to take a handicap. That's not really fun, right? I would have less fun if I knew that you were taking a handicap to make it more interesting for me. But at the same time, it did give me the experience of finding one single move, and that's all I need. And that's just always a treasure.
Yeah, that's like beating up on that's what beating up on the AI is all about.
Yeah.
You're just like finding the one thing that works, and then you can just fucking do that over and over again.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. When you're like, because that's how I play the single player, because I don't know the moves. I'm not going to look at the move list for all these characters. I'm just out here to figure out the first thing that works.
Yeah. Totally. There was
and ride it until it stops working.
There was one game, and while I was getting my ass kicked in Tekken 8, there was a win that I had in between losses, and I'm like, that doesn't even feel like fun, because the move I found that work is I literally just jabbed.
Hell yeah.
I just jabbed, and they took like a 0.5% at a time, and then I stopped for 1 second and then resumed jabbing, and they, they like just kept taking it.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, this is the longest match of all time. And I won just doing that. Just like jabbing and then stopping for a second randomly and then starting back up.
Look, they're just out here pressing meaty buttons over and over again.
That's me. I know how it is. It's so funny, though. It's also... yeah.
Rarely blocking unless you're like really doing the same thing over and over.
It is... Well, see, that's why I would stop for a second, because like they would eventually block, and then you just stop, and then pow.
You just have, it's learning their rhythm.
Yeah,
their turn, your turn, my turn stuff.
It just took an eternity. Jabs don't do much.
Yeah, fair.
I do think it's so funny how they literally do just let you get heat and supers off, or the rage arts, I should say.
It's hilarious.
So they're like, this is what people are gonna think is sick. We gotta let him get this.
Yeah. You could just do it. It's fine. It's so fun. It was so funny, like playing through the story mode and then going online, and like everyone's blocking that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh god, like because that's like the immediate thing of the difference is like, oh, people block online. They're just blocking. They're just blocking and waiting to punish you after the block. That's the main thing. And it's like, oh, well, that's now I'm just getting blocked and then countered over and over again. That's not as fun.
Yeah. Look, man, it's all I got.
Yeah.
They block because they're good and waiting for their turn. I block because I'm terrified.
Mm-hmm.
I am just
the most frustrating thing of playing it on hard is when the enemies heal themselves, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's trash. Yeah.
Like in the I don't know. I wonder if he also does it on normal, but like the Jin Kazama when they're in their fucking Super Saiyan forms. I remember there's a Jin Kazuya at one point like heals a big chunk, and that was like frustrating. I think that was the most frustrating part playing through that story mode.
Yeah. I mean, that's that's just like the replacement for like another form, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
Had that in well, shit, that happened in do you remember offhand which Marvel game you had me go through the arcade mode of? Was it Superheroes?
Superheroes is Thanos. It might have been...
I don't think it was him. It was whichever one is like really good or has like a really cool final boss.
I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 have cool final bosses.
Maybe it was...
But 1 has Onslaught, and then 2 has like a fucking made-up thing, the Abyss, that has 3 forms.
It was probably that then. Because I remember there was like... I did the first 2 like barely, and I was like, please don't do me. And then it transformed again or whatever, and I was like, it's over.
Hell yeah.
And I think that was before the collection dropped, maybe? Because I don't think there was like save states or anything. I couldn't scum it. At least not. I mean, I guess I could have I could have just opened the emulator and done it. But like and then I had that same thing in the newest Sam show. I was like, please don't do it. Don't do it. And then the cutscene like resumes and their health bar just goes
long history of arcade mode fucking boss fights being horse shit.
Yeah, dude. It's in like Street Fighter 2 and stuff in the collection, like the literal strat is at like Bison and stuff is to get a hit, save state. Like you get one hit and you got to save that shit cuz like that's you're in.
Hell yeah.
It was awful.
I just remember in the PSP version of Alpha 3 fighting Bison, and like I'm like just trying to do it, and he's such a fucking cheaty motherfucker because like you'll like jump attack him and then he'll do his ult where he like flies backward and then does a full screen attack like while you're still midair.
Yeah. God.
And also you're playing on a PSP controller, so like doing anything is hard.
Yeah.
Like you're limited. Good times.
Yeah, dude. That's so funny. Meanwhile, in the undisputed champ of the genre, Street Fighter 1, anybody has a shot.
You just fucking
Once
you're just out here mashing.
Once you're locked in, dude. I still remember when I tried going because I wanted to go through all of the arcade modes on the collection, and I did. And for Street Fighter 1, I mean that's the first one I started with. It's the first one. One's right there, and it was incredible. Got my ass kicked. And then, like, I don't know how many tries it was with, like, not even beating, like, the first fight functionally. And then, all of a sudden, you become one with the garbage, and I, annihilated it. I went through, like, every single fight without a loss. Like, I just went through it, and it was the best feeling in the entire world. I'm like...
That's so good.
This is my pile of shit. I'm the computer. As I kill the NPC with a second fireball, like I'm the computer now. It's just so bad. It's just so terrible. And then Street Fighter 2 is a nightmare. It's a living nightmare. It's awful.
Yeah. You're right. Street Fighter 1 is so much better than Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. We had it perfect. It's the most balanced fighting game, man.
Yeah.
That's all the things I like. Equal footing, a little bit of RNG.
It doesn't have a bear, though. I prefer games with a bear. Like Battle K Road. Even though I don't think you can play as the bear, but he is the final boss.
Yeah, the bear boss. Dude, that shit is incredible.
That has like Tekken moves, or no, the Street Fighter moves. He has like Shoryuken, Tatsu, I think, or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it sounds right. Man, that was it was great finding out that there was a bear assist in King of Fighters.
Oh, that was sick.
What if just a panda?
Hell yeah!
Just straight up.
The assists that are like not actual characters that you can play as.
But yeah, there was the Sam show, Hanumaru, I think. Yeah, just like other characters and like random shit. And some of them are the fact that some are useless is also incredible.
I think those like charge your special meter, and we were full or something, so they weren't doing anything.
I have no idea, man. But seeing that girl just come out and go, blah, 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 and then she hops back, or worse, gets kicked in the face as soon as she comes out to taunt me.
No, that she's eating a hit. That's fine.
Yeah.
Meat shield.
The worst one is when I sent out an assist, and as he was jumping out, you were in the middle of a hit, so he just got hit instantaneously, and then it came down and hit me anyway. He did like absolutely nothing. He got hit, and then I got hit, and I'm just like, what the hell, man? Like, you had one job.
Fighting games are good.
Fighting games are great. There's been a lot of bangers.
It's the moral of the story. But I think that's a podcast.
Yeah.
saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com, saltcirclepod on Twitter, saltcircle.bsky.social, I think, on Bluesky, or on YouTube at saltcircle.
Are you anywhere?
I'm on Twitter and Bluesky, comic panels, comicpanels.bluesky.social.
I ain't on those things, but I am on YouTube. I even did a couple of videos recently at Drathius.
Hell yeah. I still gotta watch that, or finish that Caves of Cud video. I did start it.
Yeah, man. I had a good time.
That
It's
game's
doing
fucking
numbers.
sick.
Popped off. Actually, one of the people I'm in a channel with like commented on it, and I'm like, "Thanks for the engagement, nerd." He's like, "I don't even follow you. It just showed up."
That's sick.
Yeah. Not. I mean, like, I don't care if it blows up. It's just I'm doing
it's
it
fun
for me. Like, just to do it.
Check out Salt the Wound.
Check out Salt the
YouTube
Wound.
channel.
Yeah,
Our YouTube channel.
that's where it's at.
Peace.